Hello, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and welcome to Shifting Perspectives. Anger is one of those emotions that gets a lot of bad rap, and it's one of those emotions that, well, I'm going to be very blunt. A lot of people shy away from because we're taught that anger is bad. And I make a point of embracing the emotions as they come in so I can dissect them, so I can reverse engineer them. And these last couple of weeks, the last few months, I've completely and fully embraced anger as a study, as a psychological study of tearing apart the emotion and getting right down to the core of what it is. And whenever I examine anger, any emotion really, and I really cut into it, I pull it apart as I experience the emotion. And sure enough, every time I do this, I'm able to later, afterward, articulate the exact emotional process, the psychological process that I underwent. I call that field research. And there's a lot of people who judge with anger. There's a lot of judgment that happens around anger. Yesterday, I had a meeting with somebody, and it was a business meeting. It was a collaboration, or it was actually us exploring each other's resources to determine if we were in a position where we could collaborate and utilize each other's resources. And I very much felt almost a condescending assessment, as if he was the teacher and I was the student, and he has to ask me a series of questions to confirm that I passed his questions. And when he found out that I had this psychological past, he proceeded to ask, well, did you do this? Which is basically all the shadow work. And I said, yes. And then he said to me, and do you hold resentment? Do you hold? And it was actually right after I had identified, well, I've been done with resentment and that level of anger for quite a while, but resentment is something completely different. And forgiveness is something completely different. But he put me through the questions. Well, did you forgive your abusers? Did you go through the resentment? Did you process that? And yes, I had. And the way the question was answered, I got the feeling like, well, you should never again feel anger in your life. Now, he has a very extensive Zen Buddhism history. So, and that is very much the Zen Buddhism approach to anger is if you are truly enlightened, you will never feel anger. And then they promptly put themselves in a situation where they never need be angry because they have learned how to sit quite comfortably in their own perspective without projecting their perspective onto other people. So they're not going to feel anger. And I said, yes. And I am. And then he says to me, and did you reach that point with your romantic partner, if you have one, where you've learned to love and ascend to a certain, and he described it to me, which I'll explain to you in a minute. And in fact, I had, oh my God, it was the embodiment of my relationship with my partner. And only then did he go, oh, so you've done it. And I felt this was my immediate emotional and mental response. Why is that the criteria? Why is that the criteria of healing? Why, just because we go through those checkpoints, are they the ones that determine whether or not we've healed or not? And I strongly disagree that these 3 milestones that he's was using as a metric to determine if my healing was successful or not. And I'm sitting here going, why? Why are those the metrics? It was interesting. It's very interesting to see how we handpick and choose things. So when I look back to anger, There is this really horrible bad rap with anger. Oh, well, if you're truly enlightened, you'll never experience anger. Anger does not come from the fear system. That is the belief that it is a tertiary emotion from fear. That is not correct. Anger is absolutely self-love. Anger is pure defense for the identity. They go hand in hand. And jealousy is not fear-based. Jealousy is a compound emotion, and it is actually defense system based. The fear system has nothing to do whatsoever with the defense system. The fear system is completely separate from the defense system. Defense is an aggressive defend the system, to fight for the system, whereas the fear system is cowering and hiding, running, seeking safety. Watch this. It's the fight or flight. Fear is flight, and the defense system is fight, which is why some people fight and then flee, which is why some people never fight, they just flop, which is why they fawn. Those are all fear system responses. And then there's people who fight. They just solidly fight. It's because their defense system is working. So if you fight and then flee, or if you just fight, that means your defense system is working up. But there's also aggression. And this is where a lot of people confuse anger with aggression and violence. There are 3 stages of anger. The first stage is violence and aggression. The second is talking. And the third is making change. So when you have war, they go right to war. Communication has broken down, and you drop back down to stage 1. You continue the peace talks. The peace talks continue until there is change and a resolution. But until then, you fight aggression. This is the psychology of war. Or you just want someone's land, hello Putin, and you just go to war. There is no peace talks because his goal is to take from other people. Now, he feels threatened and he seeks to take control. So he projects his need to control onto other people, which is why he's doing what he's doing. I believe it is fear and not anger that actually is aggression. No, that doesn't feel right. Nope, that vibrates wrong with me. Vibrations. I'm going to try talking to you. Yeah, I'm going to try talking to you now. I've talked to a lot of other people. Maybe I need to talk to you. Maybe I need to talk to the citizens of my world. Yeah, maybe that's what I need to connect with is you. Hi, I'm Anna. It's really, really lonely in my world sometimes. All right, let's do this. I'm not a good teacher because I don't enjoy it. Maybe I am a good teacher. I don't know yet. Let's wait to be seen. The only thing that really hurts me is the vibrational frequency. That's where all of my pain comes from. That's where all pain comes from. You have vibrational frequency. I have vibrational frequency. And the only pain I experience is gaslighting. Now, I am really good with my boundaries and communicating my boundaries and saying, keep your projections off of me. And I'm really good at not internalizing other people's problems. So when my radar goes off, there's a reason. It is a supermoon. And we are looking at another 6 weeks of turmoil. That's why I was so angry these last 2, 3 days, was because I was out of alignment. I was out of alignment because I was letting the wrong people in. I do this. I look around and I cling to the wrong people, and I try and look for people when I've got all of you right here. But I'm not talking to you. I was talking down to you, wasn't I? Yeah, I was. I'm sorry. I was very angry. But I had to be. I had to be because it was time that I change. I changed. And I allowed the anger because I needed to understand the anger. Oh, I understand it now. I finally understand it. And I was finally able to finally see how it all comes together. I've been trying to teach communication classes, boundary lessons. I've been trying to teach emotional management lessons. I can't even get the names right. That's a clue. If it's not easy, it's because the universe is telling you no. And I realized when I was putting together Triadic Healing this morning, oh, I forgot to send an email. I need to send her that email. I realized that while I was, just a moment, I can't forget this. This is very important. Send email. I had a session with a client this morning and I forgot to send her the email following up. So I'm like, oh yeah. So deep breath in with me. And out. And in. And out. One more. In. And out. The biggest problem with the self, with the identity, is there is so much to it. There are so many parts to the identity. So when we seek out on this grand adventure of finding out who we are, it's not just finding one of us. There's a lot to the self. There is so much different parts to the self. It's chaos. So I have spent my life being pulled by the universe. It's insane. I have been pulled by the universe all my life. And there were days where it drove me insane because I would have this feeling of being pulled and I would follow it. And if I didn't follow it, oh, the universe made sure that she kicked me in the ass. I don't believe I'm alone. I believe there's a lot of people out there who know what this feels like. And I just kept following and listening and doing and following. And every time I thought about something, every time I had an epiphany, one voice very clearly rang through over all of my epiphanies, and that was, go bigger. It was infuriating. No matter how many times I went, no matter how far I got, she just kept saying over and over again, go bigger, go bigger, go bigger. I'm tired and I'm hungry. I am exhausted. And this is the first time in my life when I built something, when I conceptualized it, and she did not say to me, go bigger. She went, there. Now you got it. And I just looked at her and I went, really? This is what I'm supposed to build? And she went, yes. So I'm going to tell you what I'm supposed to be doing. I have to build a city. I have to build an abstract city. Now I already see it. I can see every nook and cranny of this city. All of it. The garden is at its center. The garden is at the center. There's a beacon, a lighthouse. How I can see that. I have been seeing that lighthouse since I was 12 years old. I have to build a city around my garden. and it is a huge city. Now, if they can come up with fantasy football, then I can come up with a fantasy reality. I don't know how, and I do know how, but I'm tired. I'm exhausted. So, unlike the garden, I'm not going to scramble and build this thing with an erratic urgency. I did that with the garden. I saw the garden a year ago and I put the garden together because I could see it. And I thought, oh, I have to build this yesterday. And now that the garden is built and I've got my lighthouse and my beacon is going out, I'm looking at the city going, I'm tired. And this is going to take time. And I know I can see the finished result, but I can't see the first few blocks. Yes, I can. I'm just too tired to lift another block. So I have people asking about my 8-week program for Triadic healing. Now, I have no idea how long it's going to take. I don't know. I know how long it took me, and I know how long it's taking people because I'm looking at the results, but everyone's different. So I am not going to give you a time frame because I don't know. I would like to see how long it would take. So let's start with this. Let's say $5,000 for part 1, $5,000 for part 2, $5,000 for part 3. Now, you don't have to do this. The Healing Garden is available through the syllabus. The Healing Garden is available absolutely through the DIY Triadic Healing. But I think I do want to work with people. But I don't think I want to do one-on-one because there are too many people asking for this. And there's going to be way too many people. So I'm going to start with 3 classes only. The first class is going to be the DIY. The second class is going to be the cultivators. And the third class is going to be those who seek certification. You cannot skip. If you want the cultivator pack, you're going to have to go through the DIY. Because if you haven't done the work yourself, you can't sit there and be a cultivator with Triadic healing. So I'm going to do this. Now, you don't graduate until you're done. And I have no idea what the time frame is. But we're going to start you on Triadic healing. $5,000, full access to part 1. If you want part 2, $10,000. And we'll go through Triadic healing and you'll go on to the part 2, cultivators. Cultivators is going to include parents, teachers, and relationships, lovers, polyamory. So if you are seeking relationship, and it's all the same thing. If you are seeking relationship counseling, if you are seeking relationship, Triadic healing for your relationships, Triadic healing for parents, Triadic healing for teachers, it's all the same thing. Triadic healing for healers. If you are looking, there's only 2 types of Triadic healing. There's Triadic healing for the self, and then there's using and applying Triadic healing alongside someone else who's parallel to you. So that's it. You can't have it's just, it doesn't matter what kind of a relationship it's parallel, whether or not you're dealing with somebody who's younger than you, a student, or a lover, it's still Triadic healing with somebody else. It's how relationships and interactions are. So there's going to be that. There's Triadic healing with the self and then Triadic healing with relationships, cultivators. And then if you want to go on for your certification, that's going to be part 3. And that's $15,000 for all of it. And that is if you want to be your own healer and have your own business, but you want to use my program in your business. Now, I'm not going to sit down and teach you how to teach Triadic healing. As long as you follow my steps and my milestones, you can pretty much mix and match whatever you want into it. It's beautiful that way. So long as you have a set milestone set for everything. And you have to be certified in Triadic healing in the Healing Garden to get it. So this is what I'm going to do. If you want just DIY Triadic healing, it's $5,000. And if you want it with a cultivator, it's going to be $10,000. And if you want it with a full certification, it's $15,000. I'm going to do this on a rotation. So we're going to do weekly sessions. We'll do weekly sessions. Yes, we're going to do weekly sessions. The sessions are going to be on Monday nights. Now, I move these all over the place. I originally said Thursday night, but then my Dungeons and Dragons game occurred. And now I'm doing my Dungeons and Dragons on Thursday nights. And then me and my awesome infinite brainness decided to split the game and do 2 games. So it's Tuesdays and Thursday nights. So my integration workshop, Journey into the Self, got bumped again. And now I'm going, well, where do I put this? So I'm going to move that to Monday nights. So Mondays is going to be the integration workshop. So here's how it's going to work. If you want the DIY, if you want Triadic healing, where I'm sitting down and I'm coaching you through it, I'm going to do a class. And the first class is going to be, it's literally going to be a weekly class. It's a group session, and that's going to be Journey into the Self. Now, if you want to do Triadic healing all on your own, you are more than welcome to do that. It's $140 for the entire month, and you will basically be able to step into Journey into the Self. But yeah, this feels right. This feels right. This feels good. Yeah, this feels right, and this feels good. So what I'm going to do is this, is Mondays. If you want to do Triadic healing, we're going to start, I want to start early, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know yet. You know what? Let's sign up first, and then we'll get it going. So if you want to start with the course material, we'll do that. Yeah, that feels good. That feels right. And welcome to my city. I know where I'm going. I know exactly where I'm going. Thing is, every time I resist my path, the universe makes me in pain. Every time I take the advice of somebody else, I'm in pain. Because I have my path. The universe says to me, this is the way you have to go. And you have to go it alone, Anna. And I know what I have to build, and I just have to build it. The universe has spoken. And I got all these people saying, you got to do it this way. Yeah, she's telling me I have to do it a different way. And then I got people saying, well, you can help. Well, you can get advice. That's my boss. And you contradict her. She's my boss. All right. So I've been back and forth with this because it didn't feel right before. And for whatever reason, it feels right now. It feels right. It feels good. And I believe it's because I needed to put the D&D in place first. Why? Why is that so fucking important? I haven't yet to figure out how it's important, but it's important. A lot of people I cannot listen to the perspectives of other people. Not yet. Not now. I have spent my entire life dedicated to listening to the perspective of other people's, living through all the perspectives, dissecting and studying each and every perspective. There isn't a single perspective that I have not heard before. And I need to accept this. I'm not hearing anything new that I haven't heard before. I get people mad at me sometimes and they argue with me. And they tell me things. And I'm going, you need to understand, you are saying nothing new to me. So when I reject advice, it's because people are all repeating the same thing to me. And I've already tried it. And I'm already done with it. And that's where I am. Is I am so far into my own space because I've already tried everything else 20 times over. I have exhausted all resources. There is nothing that I have not tried. There's no other path. There's no other choice. So when someone comes along and they give me one more opinion, one more perspective, it's the same one that I'm just hearing over and over again. When you study perspective psychology, there's a pattern to the perspectives. There's an identical similarity with all the perspectives because they're just regurgitating the same material. But no one's heard my perspective. Mine's really different. Mine is really different. So imagine you have a vibrational frequency within you, and we all have our own vibrational frequency. It's just yours. It's unique. There's nothing in the world like it. And your vibrational frequency is your song. And there's going to be things that vibrate with you, and there's things that don't vibrate with you. And the words we say carry vibrational frequency. Oh my God, the words we say, they matter. They matter the most. And if you are sloppy with your words, don't be sloppy with your words. They must be precise. The words matter. I met somebody, a couple, about a week ago. I was supposed to give him a message. I gave him the message. I was not supposed to stick around. He told me I was supposed to stick around. I was supposed to just give him a message. I gave him the message. And then I was done. I needed to move on. I was not supposed to stay. He told me that I was supposed to stay, that I was meant to connect with him, that we were meant to do great things together. I listened to him instead of the universe. I am a loner, first and foremost. I have to go this alone. And I stuck around. And I got the whole lot of, you should, you need. He gaslit the fuck out of me. And the more he talked, the more gaslighting really hurts me. I believe that it hurts a lot of people because when you hear the words, it's literally an injection of vibrational frequency into your song. And when you are that tuned into the frequency, oh my God, does it hurt, and it rips you apart. And within this 30-minute conversation, I endured more pain from all of his conversation, talking, and it just ripped me apart. Because even the words, you need to, you are this, you did this. And it was all wrong. He was wrong on so many accounts. Like, that's not how I feel. That's not what I am. That's not, no. And it was just this massive rejection of all of his projecting into me. And when I refused it, he then gaslit me. He called me names. He called me greedy, narcissist. That's when I hung up on him. When the name calling started. And it started off with me going, I need to talk to my partner. And I didn't, because I felt like I was a burden to my partner. I need to never again doubt that. But I walked away from the experience realizing two things. One, I really need to trust my partner. The universe gave me my partner for a reason. And I really need to stop doubting that. The universe gave me my partner for a reason. Why am I still resisting that? And then the second thing, I really need to pay attention to the moon cycles at all times, and I really cannot be lax with that. That's not it. The third thing, or the real number two, was I have to build a city. And I was really terrified of talking about this when I first started podcasting, but I'm finally looking directly at what it is I'm here to do. And I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your help because I'm building the city for you. Yeah. Now, it has to be my vibrational frequency. I don't know why. And I know what goes into the city. I know how to build a society. And I'm doing it. And it's all set to go. And I'm ready. However, I need your help. You are who I've been missing. I've been looking for everyone else except you. And I realized I needed to be reaching out to you and connecting to you. I've been trying to connect to everybody else, and I'm going, what am I doing? You know what you need. You know what you want. You're suffering in a society like I was. And so here's how it works. The healing garden is the door. That's easy. You walk in the door. I start right off with meditation for beginners. That's stage one. Just meditation for beginners. That's where I'm going to be. And then, meditation for beginners. The second phase, I wrote this all down because I was finally seeing it. The second phase, when you are ready and if you want, is going to be the healing. That's the actual healing garden with triadic healing. Now there's going to be ways that you can go about this. Yeah, there's going to be ways to go about it. I'll walk through those. And then there's going to be phase 3, which is where I build the city, the rest of the city. The triadic healing gives you a home if you want to stay. There it is. You don't have to stay. You can come in, use triadic healing, and then leave. Absolutely. You can use triadic healing and then go build your own city. That's okay. But yes, I have to build a city, and I don't know why. I'm told I have to build a city, and I can see it. So if you want to stay, then I will be putting together a home for you, and that is the abstract city. Anna Land is what I'm calling it for now. In the kingdom of imagination. Anna Land in the kingdom of imagination, and I am the queen. And when you are done with triadic healing, you absolutely have an invitation to stay in Anna Land, and I will provide you a home there, or a community, or you are more than welcome to go find and build your own, whatever you want. You are always free. And then phase 4 is world peace. Now, I am done with healing. I am beyond the research stage, and I'm ready to start. I am packing it up and saying, okay, here's triadic healing. Who wants to learn? And it took me a while to figure out how I'm going to balance my whole life with this. I don't know where my partner fits into this. And that's what's scaring me the most, is I can start to see him. I live in an abstract world. There's some people who just can't see abstract. So that's really the problem that I have right now, is I live in an abstract world. And if you can see abstract, fantastic. And if you can't, so if you want to join for the Triadic healing, then I have the classes that I'm going to be posting on my site. It's really, it feels different this time. I've done this before. For some reason, it feels different this time. It's really weird. If you want to see what the syllabus is, it's available on my website. Click on the link below. Like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let me know what part of the show resonates with you. Thank you for growing with me. Thank you for going through this with me. It was not a linear journey to get here.